What's up, everybody? Welcome back. Common Sense, the podcast. You guys are lucky this week. It's just me and Biz. What's up, homie?
G and Biz. What's up, bro?
On one today. I got the talk a lot juice. I came prepared.
That's not to bring you down. That's to bring you up.
Yeah.
A latte.
Yeah. And I already had one of their Cuban coffees earlier.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you hear wild farting noises, it ain't me.
Or if I just start talking 100 miles an hour, you guys can start giving me shit and tell me to slow it down.
They're going to do that anyway, man.
Slow it down.
They're going to do that anyway.
Yeah, I'm sure we're going to get lots of shit tonight.
Wow. So I figured it out that I have everything that I normally have on this side, which is actually kind of cool.
Yeah, and nobody can bitch about, hey, who's that other guy talking to the background? I can't see him.
This is the person connected to the
He's
voice.
He's just wearing camouflage.
I've been sitting here this whole time. So, man, let's catch up, man. Season so far has been really good. You've had a lot of people on in your industry, which is really cool because I've learned a shit ton.
They're starting to be a little more open to it, man. I've got another guy that I really want to get on. I'm not going to say he said yes, but I think we had some miscommunication about like the time and everything, and I want to make sure it still works for him before I talk about it. He will be another one that'll be awesome. I mean, because Anthony, man, I didn't think he was going to say yes, but when he said yes, I was like, this is going to be fire. Like, I know, because I go to the committee meetings all the time, and man, it's so impressive what he decides to teach or talk on every time. And I'm just like, man. And there's usually other people, and most of the time I'm like, man, can Anthony just talk more?
That dude is dope, dude. He is literally a walking, I really only listen to audio. He is a walking audio book, like literally eloquently spoken. And the information he gave up, and he answered every question before I had a chance to even ask it. Like, he's dope.
His pace, his tone, his inflection.
You see, I was trying my best to get him on my podcast. Like, yo, man, you could educate us old folks. And he's like, oh, yeah. Somebody says yes, but they say no by saying yes.
He said yes, and then immediately when he shared the post, he was like, this might be the one and only, but I'm going to do it. And I was like, nah, he got the itch. I guarantee
I hope he's still scratching when I come calling him and be like, yo, man, can you come through and tell us older cats how to invest in property, especially multifamily stuff? Because he answered a ton of questions that I had off the rip. So,
dude, it's one that even I'm going to go back when I have time. It was so hard when I got all the editing back.
Yeah.
To pick which ones I was go with, because I don't just go with the ones that are rated, right?
You probably had too many clips to choose from.
He had so many clips. I was like, these are all like gold nuggets. Like, I could do a whole class from that. I mean, 3 hours of material.
Let me ask you a question. How much have you learned since you started this journey? You think, even though this is your industry, and we've gone from Green Berets to MMA fighters to the Lord Savior and jiu-jitsu to so many, even with, T Hills coming on and the financing and all that stuff. I mean, and if you think about the whole reason that you started this thing was, how did common sense get you to where you're at? And we kind of kept it around that. But look at all the decisions, look at all of the failures, the victories, all that stuff all these people have had over the last, now 3 years that we've had through here.
Yeah, man, this is what, 94?
Episode 94.
We're almost at 100.
I
don't know what I'm going to do at 100, but we're going to do something. I don't know what it's going to be yet, but we're going to do something.
We're going to go somewhere live and do it there live?
Maybe. I don't know.
Are there strippers?
Yeah. We'll talk to
strippers? Okay,
strippers.
never mind. No strippers. Just checking.
No strippers. But maybe we'll go
I'm kidding.
to
I'm kidding. I don't see your wife on here yet.
Yeah,
so
if she's on here, she's going to light your ass up.
Sarah, I was joking. Joking.
We'll, yeah, I don't know, man. Maybe we'll see if we can do something down in Deep Ellum or something.
I think that'd be dope.
I think that would be cool. Or maybe the back nine. Maybe we'll call Sean. Sean's already offered to let us shoot a show there.
Let's go somewhere different.
So, yeah, I mean, for 100th episode, I think we got to do something a little bit.
Does that mean we hit syndication or never mind?
That would be great. I mean, you got a line, bro?
Nah, bro.
I mean, press forward and rewind, doing things I don't know about.
Not yet, but we'll talk about that.
That was dope too, man. And I want to say thank you again because I had a ton of fun doing that. Like it's only like the third or fourth podcast I've been asked to be on.
It was cool because we're literally sitting where we sat when we shot the episode, but just the conversation was different as you really did a great job of talking on my topic, which was communication. And I think for a lot of people that are either starting over, re-entering life, or just makes a different decision, networking and communication. And I noticed when we relocated here to Dallas, this is one of the best networking places that I've been all over the world, and I've never seen networking like I've seen here.
Yeah, it's insane. It's incredible, man. The amount of opportunity in DFW alone is insane.
It's
let
crazy.
alone Texas as a whole.
Do you think that is, so like I was having a conversation with somebody about the differences in places where you live. Like we're from the Midwest.
Yeah.
Midwest has a lot of segregation mindset. The Midwest and all the old fashioned values, it just kind of stays old. And I'm not just talking about segregation mindset in color. I'm just talking about it's so cliquish and everybody is really hell bent on just staying to the same old way, where you go to a coastal city, whether it's East or West Coast, way forward thinking. If you come down here, Southern hospitality and that super business mode, and I think Dallas is way more progressive than Houston, even though Houston has big business.
Yeah.
So when I said that, to say communication, how do you go through the waters of it depending where you are? Because here you meet people from everywhere. We talked about acclimating somebody's vernacular or their accent when you're really relating to them. Going somewhere else, but in the Midwest, it's kind of, unless it's Chicago. Chicago's a whole different beast.
I think it's changing though and evolving, because if you look at like New York, if you go to New York or you're around New Yorkers, like when you're talking to somebody from New York. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying?
Or Boston or New Jersey.
But how
all that.
they are very old money, old family. There's like rich history there, hundreds of years, those first settlers, the United States of America as we know it.
Pioneers.
Yeah, pioneers and all that. Like, you see a whole different mentality of business, pace of life, and everything else. Then I go back to my father's side of the family where they're from. They're all in Ohio, and you go back there, man, and it's not a big town, but it's a smaller town. And I always tell anybody when I'm talking about this, it literally feels like you're stepping back in time like 20 years.
I say that every time I go home.
It's like 20 years. Like, everything moves at a slower pace. What is acceptable, what has evolved, nope. Way more leans
my hometown,
10, 20 years back.
It seems like they put more energy and effort in staying the same versus progression. Mm-hmm. So I used to just say, it's an Omaha thing. No, man, that's everybody I've talked to that are from the Midwestern area space. It's like whether you're from Kansas City, whether you're from Akron, Ohio, whether you're from somewhere in Missouri, it's all that same mindset. But when you go to the three coasts, it's a whole different thing.
And I think some of that, again, kind of comes down to what I talk about on your podcast a little bit, of try and step out of your comfort zone, your circle a little bit, and get to know some other people and try to put yourself in a room that makes you a little uncomfortable.
Very good statement. Very good statement. That was actually how we ended it. That's
because
how you ended it.
Those people that would make the complaint that you kind of started this off with, of segregating, a lot of people will stick to themselves. It doesn't mean that they don't want to communicate with you or they're not open to having other people in their circle. But the higher elevated, the more successful, the more, specialized circles of people that are, the top producers of whatever segment they're in, man, like, they paid the price to get there. And it's not like it's closed off to you or whatnot, but like, you got to find a way to put yourself in that room and also provide value, mm-hmm. and come with like proper, true intentions, because like Josh talked about, like, that shit has a smell, man. Like, if you're coming in there just trying to like time collapse in the wrong way and trying to jump up and network, and you don't really even care about the people or trying to build a true relationship with them, that has a smell. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I think if you do that and you put yourself in those situations, then I mean, absolutely, man. You can really start elevating your circles and your game, and you start having conversations with people that you wouldn't normally have, and that's where you start growing and expanding that stuff.
You got to get outside that comfort zone, though, man. That comfort zone is growth comes from what did they say? Growth is uncomfortable. Just period.
Absolutely, Josh. And what's up, Don? Don Brooks on here.
Oh, he said we can come to his crib for the 100th episode.
I don't want shit falling on me when I'm sitting in front of your. Oh wait, is it too soon? My bad.
I don't know what he's talking about.
Did you see the picture?
No.
Dude, the whole middle, it's like one of my biggest fears at my house. His whole middle shelf on his bar collapsed and exploded. Like, while they were home. And you put all the good shit in the middle, right? Like, that you actually, like.
Did the Japanese liquors get sacrificed?
There was some of those.
Oh,
there was
my.
Some of those.
Sorry, y'all. Y'all have to be honest. This man has one of the dopest, massive collections of rare whiskeys and wines and sakis and all that. And it's like, I don't know how many levels it was, 5 or 6. Well, maybe more than that.
Yeah. I mean, he has the sides and everything like that, but I'm talking about
the one that's on the back wall.
He said too soon. Yeah, the one on the back wall. I'm talking about the whole
thing,
middle upper.
Okay, now we're gonna change the subject right now because good gosh, I've seen that. I can't even imagine. And while they were at the crib, it just did it.
Yeah.
See, one of them old ass bottles was haunted, and it finally decided to get out. Oh, too soon because we're going to talk about flat Earth later.
We better skip to something else.
Anyway, man, but no. So let me ask you a question then. And if anybody's out there thinking about ever starting your own podcast or doing something, because it is all of the rage, but it is a great way to share the knowledge of what you know. What would you say has been your most difficult hurdle to leap over in this venture that you've created? I think it's getting guests because that's kicking me in the ass.
Getting the guest part is really hard.
And it's not that nobody likes either one of us. It's just that everybody's busy lifing.
And you need to have some plans for like today. Exactly. Like, I had somebody I thought was going to take this spot. Yeah. Another spot worked better for them. So we switched, and it got late enough in the week. And I just honestly, after doing Press Forward and Rewind with you on Tuesday, not that we cut it off, but like by the time we did what we were setting out to do for that, I was just like, man, that really inspired me and kind of lit that fire under my ass again a little bit. Just you and I talking about it, that I was like, man, I want to keep talking about this. Like there's some of these things that I really need to like put in play. And now it is more just me than reasons why it's not happening. It's more just me, and that I need to put the time in to be able to do those things and have the conversation I need to have, get certain things set up, and make some decisions. So it kind of lit that under me doing that with you, and I was just like, man, I want to have that conversation a little more. And we didn't do a year-end recap because we had guests that just started like ready to go. So I would say, guests is one of it's the hardest thing to manage. It's the hardest thing to probably get people to agree to, and you have to make them comfortable. If you can't make your guests comfortable and that they really feel like they're just having a conversation, man, they'll have all kinds of hurdles and questions in their mind and things to get past, and it'll make booking them even harder. I think the people that try to be really controversial or are only shooting for what's trending and to talk about the most controversial thing, that's a big mistake. It's a big mistake. Like, you're not ready to bite that off. If you don't already have that kind of following, that kind of presence, don't try to jump in and do a podcast.
Well, plus trending stuff is only trending for now. It may be hot today, but by the time your podcast airs or somebody catches up to us on that episode, that's old news.
Well, I mean, guests will ask me like, well, what all can I say? Can I cuss? Can I do this? I mean, yeah, everything is set and geared that way. But at the same time, they have legitimate concerns. And, this is something I worried about early on. And this is kind of where I'm at with this and my thoughts on it. So one of the big things you're going to hear is I have a business, because I'm getting like people that are like CEOs, business owners, or sales guys, usually like something they say can directly affect their business. I mean, you come on a podcast that's got enough traction, or the person does the right search, or the person's looking into you or following you, and you say some shit, that can have an effect. And that's a concern. And it's like, well, if you're worried about that, then what subjects do you not want to talk about? I'm not trying to be TMZ. I'm not trying to dig up your dirt and shit and not air your dirty laundry on here. Like that's not the purpose of this show. So you have to really portray that, live that, and do that, or you're not going to get a lot of the guests you want, because if you can't make them feel comfortable and safe and feel like they can freely talk about the things they do want to talk about, like I would stay away from religion for the most part. I would stay away from politics unless that is your show. I mean, I wouldn't do it, because you better be ready to ride or die on it, because what this will teach you is that not everybody is your people or your tribe. Mm-hmm. And you have to learn that it is better to have 250 people that are part of your tribe and following you, and, you know, that are there for you and that have the like mindset or want to explore the same things. If you find those people, like, that's true legit people. That's no spam, bots, AI accounts, any of that bullshit. I mean, because you're going to deal with that shit too. So if you really just focus on, like, not everybody's going to be my cup of tea, and I'm not going to be everybody's cup of tea, but I am going to find my people, because there's a lot of people, no matter which way you go on any certain viewpoint or things, there's going to be your tribe and there's going to be the other tribes. You're not going to get all of that. So you just got to be comfortable with that and kind of know that going in. But other than that, man, if you do things right and just don't get caught up in numbers, it's like dieting, man. Like, if you try and die by that scale, you're going to go crazy.
You'll drive yourself
because
insane.
that scale is going to fuck with you nonstop.
Yep.
But if you rely on measurements, you're going to be a lot happier, because you're going to be able to see project better because you're tracking things better. And it'd be the same thing. I would say have other measurements, just other than my shit went viral, I got 1 million views today, or I got, 5,000 followers. And it's hard and frustrating, because on each platform there's different parameters, and like you can't get monetized or advertised for certain things without that. So I would say too, if you're someone out there selling or doing something, support someone that's helping you put your message out there, someone that's building something, that's doing the things you want, or if you find value in it, like, because they'll tell you not to do like the Patreon thing and the subscriptions until you're at a certain point. And that's hard too. That's a tough decision.
I think that
but you got to find other values in it too.
So I think going for the money is one thing, but if you really go to share a message, to build a tribe and all that, money is just a byproduct. And if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, you're still able to communicate and grow your tribe, as you were saying.
That's where I would also tell people, do something that you're in love with. Do something that you're passionate about. Do something that is a true interest of yours. Or maybe it's your industry, where if you put the time and the effort into it, at least you can become an expert on that one thing, because people will tune into that. I mean, like, there are a whole lot of people that do whatever that one thing is you do.
Yep.
Right? So that means your tribe, your audience, because you're finding people of that, and that's what you need to focus on.
I just got a new client, and he paints miniatures like Warhammer and World of Warcraft.
That's cool.
I taught him and I showed him how to set up his camera, and he literally sets it up and he literally paints this thing. It takes 5 or 6 hours to paint it, so he does it in sessions. And then I'll take it, I'll edit the video down to about 20 minutes. He tells everybody how he does it, what he does, and boom, he posts it. And then when I was doing the research on how to edit this thing, man, there are millionaires out here, and all they do is set a camera up and show the technique to paint a small little gork from Lord of the Rings. But when you see these pieces of art, when they're done, it's just a little black plastic character. But when they're done painting and the details and light, it's amazing. And,
that's cool.
And it's a hobby. But these hobbies are now doing what? Making them money. This guy has, you think you guys have like liquors and stuff? This guy has over 300 airbrushes. Some vintage from way back when they first created them, some brand new, some special. I mean, everybody collects something, but this is his hobby and his passion. And now we've only done literally 2 episodes. When I say new client, but looking at what others has done and seeing his work, no telling what it's going to do. But just sharing that with the world in that positive sense, who knows? He'll probably pick up an airbrush sponsor. He may pick up somebody wanting to pay him to teach him how to do that, but he just does it for the love.
That's cool, man. I mean, you can't knock that. All right, we'll see who like listens to this and tunes back in. So, perfect example. We were talking about guests. I'm super excited about next week's guest. So, we got Chef Kenny Bowers coming on here and artiste Kenny Bowers. I'm super excited about that. Like
Kenny's Burgers,
Kenny's
Firewood.
Italian, Kenny's Wood Fire Grill, Kenny's Pizza.
Tell Kenny to bring some grub when he comes, because I went to Kenny's Wood Fire for lunch with one of our friends, Grady, and he says, "Watch this." He says, "You ordered martinis," and person went and did it, shook it, didn't look at anything, just poured the entire contents of the shaker out, and it literally stopped at the rim. And so I said, that's impressive. He said, "No, watch this." We drank that one. He said, "Order another one." Same exact. And I'm saying this person isn't taking a measuring cup or nothing. No. But however they did it, and I mean, it goes to the rim and they shake it out till like a couple drops come out. Every single one they made. I've never seen anything like that.
You can literally go in there and ask for a Grady.
Not
kidding you.
He has his own damn drink.
That dude is something else, man.
He lives there. Like
he lives there. I've
never been there. We walked in the joint like he has his own. He just looks and they nod. They don't take his order or nothing.
They know.
That's crazy.
You can even. I know he was working on it. I don't know if it is yet. Maybe I'm spilling the beans. I don't know. You should be able to get Grady's mustard on their Cuban up there.
And that's probably
Cuban
done.
Is fire.
Yeah, that's probably done. But yeah, so Kenny's going to be on the show now for all you entrepreneurs and cooks, and I mean, he covers a lot of bases.
And I just know, and for the record, like, I don't know Kenny super well. Like, it's kind of funny how this is coming together. We both come up to ICC, so we both smoke cigars, and we both work out at the same gym. And we'd seen each other for years and not known this or who each other were, but then we kind of connected once we kind of like crossed paths here at the lounge.
I'm not sure who he is.
When you see him, you're going to know.
Like, that's Kenny? Like,
yeah.
Okay.
That's
yeah.
what I did forever. And like, you know, so we work out, and then like, you know, I think of him just as the business owner chef with all these amazing restaurants that we eat at regularly.
Like, is he only North Dallas? Is he only up here?
Yeah, just here, man.
I mean, he does good for where he's at. I was just curious that he expand past.
And not to give away too much, but like, he's found another passion now that's kind of bringing back his cooking passion more as well, and that's his artwork.
We already got. Really?
He's an artist, man. He paints. Dude. Wild shit.
One of them guys that just does everything. I mean, but I get that though, because I got the jack of all trades.
He races cars, bro.
I'm done. Never mind.
Like,
my story is totally irrelevant now. Since
it's
you
cool
said that.
shit. Like,
damn.
It's going to be fun, man. And he wants to, like, really dive in and get to talk about it. I mean, this guy's on TV all the time. Syndicated shit.
I'm going to be mic'd up for this one next week. I'm going to definitely be mic'd up because I got some questions to ask him.
Yeah, and you talk about somebody that's done amazing things, like the whole repurposing angle. Like, I'm not going to say any more than that, but, like.
He said that last time.
Fascinating. It's fascinating.
He'll let him talk about it.
Yeah, so
it may get the debut here, even though he probably has friends that already know about it. But that is fine. So we talked about how hard it is to get guests. With the new venture that you're taking on, which I'm saying that it's probably still chugging along, and we're trying to figure that out with the next podcast.
Yeah,
that's on. But I know what motivated you to do that, but are you really hyped about it because you've seen that go-getting this and what it took to do one? Like, we're talking about Kenny's. He has all these restaurants. Look at you. Now you're about to have a second podcast.
I think that's what my hang-up is right now.
Because you see how much you put into this one.
If we're being honest, like, I think everybody knows that knows me, or at least it's probably pretty evident if you watch the show. I'm either all in or I'm not in. this has taken so long and so many little pieces to try to piece this together. I think you get fatigue at times. And then you're kind of overwhelmed with everything else you have going on. So trying to figure out what you're going to make time for and how much time you're going to give each thing until it's really going and can be the thing that takes over. I mean, you just don't know. So, and I also feel like I am very, what's the right word? Like cyclical. Like, man, I have times where I just, man, I'm journaling. I'm flowing. I'm gym's going well, work's going well, home life's going well, marriage is going well, everything's going good, and I'm like feeling super productive and super creative. And then I have times where I'm like, man, I just can't do enough, and I get caught all up in my head, and I don't feel.
You're human.
Yeah. But I'm saying like that happens, and like I'm kind of in one of those funks right now, but like trying to get this podcast, and I've got some training things that I'm dabbling back into the speaking thing, and I'm doing some stuff to help with my business, and it involves doing some training courses.
So let me ask you a question real quick. Excuse me for interrupting. But so I have to catch you there because my post today was just about what you just said. I don't know if you caught it yet on Facebook. My post today was about what you said.
I didn't today. So I have not seen it today.
Reading the 5 a.m. Club book so far, and that the chapter today was on that. And here's the thing that we all do. We all stay so busy to either feel successful or that's just what we think our definition of success is. Listen to all the things you just talked about. So instead of managing time, manage focus. Pick one. Pick one. Now you have your daily duties with your job, especially with your responsibility, but now you kind of have to pick one. And I have the same issue going on right now, editing and doing. So I interviewed 2 overseas editors today. I got 2 more interviews tomorrow because now you got to start delegating it. If you want it to happen, but you got to pick one focus that you can put all of you in so nothing slides through the crack. And then the other things, either they got to wait or it's time for you to get a number 2 to start heading up some things. And you do that at work. I mean, you delegate stuff to other people, but it's kind of weird, the blinders we put on. That's work. So you just automatically think that's work. But when it's your own, we don't approach it the same.
Yeah.
A lot of entrepreneurs create companies and start another job instead of creating a business.
Yeah, and you have moments where you think, Josh, I got you in a second. You have moments where it's not just that. And picking something to focus on.
I didn't say it was easy because you have a lot of plates that got to spin.
Some of it can be timing and making sure things work. And like you're going to have setbacks and different things. And then sometimes I feel like, though, it's okay to just take a break, take a step back. Like it doesn't have to happen overnight. You spent all these years fostering and growing this idea, and it's changed shape and evolved, and it's still evolving, and you're trying to figure all that out, that you just have to give yourself a little bit of space on that.
Now, you can manage focus the same way you manage time, though. Time block. So then the way I'm doing it now was something I did years ago when I first got my first photo studio after I graduated was I time block my days. And I mean by that, so Friday, Saturday, production, shoot days, all that. Sunday, that's the Lord's day. Don't do nothing, do that. Monday, it's a light day that I learn. Because even everything that I shot and did over the weekend, sometimes you don't want to look at it again. You need fresh eyes, so take a break from it. So Monday is my day that I focus, and I'm saying it like this now, even though I just read this morning, but this is what I did. So pick a day that you focus only on.
Discipline, too.
And that is, I'm horrible at that. But I only focused on learning. So I would read, YouTube, whatever. Then Tuesday was straight up call, edit, get into the grind. Tuesday and Wednesday. Thursday was prep for whatever weekend work I had. And I just lived life like that. And I'm mad because I haven't done that since. That's when I worked for And One. And One, we would travel and go all over the country, all over the world, and then come back. And then I had to break the footage down and do everything and get that and got into that cycle. We traveled Thursday through Sunday. Then I
edit and all that. I don't think I ever knew this.
What? I told you I worked for And One thing. I've never told you about And One. You're serious. And One basketball.
Who's the coolest person you got to see or watch in that scenario in N1?
I mean, all of them. Hot Sauce, Helicopter, North Carolina. And then I actually was there when the old guys left, when Professor and all those guys
But, like,
left.
you even had some cool-ass shit where, like, Kobe and Allen Iverson and them got involved with stuff. Like, did you get to be involved in any of that shit?
Oh, you got to look on my thing. Me and I got pictures. So my roommate was Dennis Rodman. Like, I shared a suite with Dennis Rodman. Well, we had our own rooms. It was like an Airbnb in a hotel because we went on tour for a month. This is just one of them. But
You're just seriously just dropping this, like, you shared a room with Dennis Rodman. What's the wildest shit?
He's not wild. He's not.
I've met him once, so I kind of had the same impression.
He's not wild.
As wild
We
as
went
he
to
is
club
out on the outer surface.
and that's the act. That's the act. But this dude got paid a shit ton of money to do nothing, while all the other N1 players would go out. So I have my picture.
Hello,
if you
sir.
look at my Facebook, I just took a picture with Nick Van Exel about 2 months ago. He was on the tour back in 20. He looked at me. I looked at him. I said, "Yo, like we like reunited here." So it was like, and this is just one of many tours, but on this particular one, it was Dennis Rodman, Nick Van Exel, Gary Payton, Horace Grant, and Bonzi Wells. They're on the tour with us, and Dennis got paid $15,000 per game. He played for 10 minutes, took his shoes off, threw them in the crowd, and sat down. Well, everybody else was on the floor the whole thing putting on this show.
Wow.
So I got the job when I left radio. Just a buddy of mine called me up that I was doing music videos for. He was in Kansas City. I was doing music videos coming down, and he was just really connected. And one day he called me and said, "Yo, man, N1 needs somebody to go on the road with them to film." I'm like, "Oh, where are we going? Like New York?" He said, "No, Jakarta, Indonesia. You got your passport?" I'm like, "Shit, yeah." Man, my first gig out with them was Jakarta, Indonesia. And then we went to Africa, went to Johannesburg, Africa, and then we spent a month in Japan. And then the one I just told you about with all the basketball stars, that was the South America tour. So we was in like Bogota, we was in Medellin. Like it's crazy, but N1 had already kind of lost his steam because cats in the NBA were doing N1 tricks. So it was like, so N1 in the States was dead. But like the world, like the Harlem Globetrotters, the world loved them. And they were a little mad because Hot Sauce and all those big name guys had left. But we still had the other basic crew. And so I'll never forget the most memorable one was Africa. Because Africans don't play. We went over there, all that bouncing the ball and hooping it. Nah, them brothers was in for it. When I said they went over there and they had to play real live street ball and not all that clowning shit, man, and one dude, African dude, smacked the ball. He said, cool. He went to inbound the ball and he bounced it off the back of his head and was laughing. We got our ass beat by the entire stadium. I mean, the basketball team, the dude selling hot dogs. I swear I got hit with a vending machine. When I say that entire stadium in Maputo, Africa, emptied out and ran us up out of there.
Wow.
This dude ended up, he was a prince or something. Nobody gave me the dossier. I didn't know, but we hit Prince Akeem in the back of the head with a basketball. And we had to fight for I got 4 punches to the face and I got a kick and we got out of there and I had all my camera equipment. Man, got on the bus. I was first one on the bus. I ain't playing with them. Because now these dudes though, these are street dudes. M1 cats are street dudes. Mm-hmm. They selling dope, at night and playing basketball in the daytime. Some of them were barbers. Some of them, they were all just down home. This is how they ate. So they wasn't no punks. I ain't built for that. So I got on the bus. Me and my cameraman, we got on the bus, went to and then my biggest fear was,
Omaha.
Nah, man, we were going to the next city. My fear was basically, are they gonna phone ahead to let the next city know that they hit the prince in the head or whatever? We ended up doing 2 more cities and we canceled the rest of it.
Wow.
We went back the next year and everything was cool.
All right, let's hit up Josh's question. So let's both answer this. So Josh, my advice, if you are not 100% sure how you want to operate, work your podcast, and you just want to dabble your feet in it, I would call somebody like Biz and work out an agreement to have them shoot your podcast and see how it goes.
If you do want to invest, I can give you, honestly, Josh, You can look up right now on YouTube, how do I begin my podcast with equipment? And there's a million things out there because you don't have to have thousands of dollars of all this fancy crap that I got to do it. You can actually do it with your phone.
Yeah, Tim Ferriss has an entire, if you follow Tim Ferriss, he has a entire like blog post, something like that you can find online that tells you all of his equipment, and he's updated it over the years. Like, hey, if I was doing this, this is what I get.
It's really simple.
Like, here's your basics, here's your this, here's your that. But I mean, you could, if you want to try to figure out and learn, you're going to be trying to learn so many different things though. Like, I would highly recommend going the route I just suggested of find somebody that can produce your show and has the equipment and can put that out there. I mean, and it depends on how far you want to take it to.
Or you can get your iPhone, put a stand, iPhone, go Facebook Live. At that moment, that's your podcast.
Or YouTube, yeah.
Or YouTube. Go YouTube Live, go Facebook Live. YouTube, well, they both, I think, get saved when you go live.
Yeah, you can do either one.
The biggest thing, the two things you need to have, number one, the most important is have something to talk about. Literally, just be entertaining and have something to talk about. Number two is good sound. They sell, man, I bought a pair of the little blue lav mics that you stick in your pocket or you can clip on. You can take them and just clip them on. Dude, it's like $130. And they have the little adapter that goes into your phone. So if you do your phone, invest in a set of lav mics and go Facebook Live and YouTube, you'll know if you want to do it or not.
And the other thing I would add to that I wish I knew earlier, we had to trial and error this with a couple different programs. I would subscribe to Opus Clips and get you at least a small package. And that way you can record or go live with some larger content. Maybe it's an hour, maybe it's 30 minutes, maybe it's 45 minutes. Either way, you're going to want to chop that up into some shorts because shorts are the best thing to bring in new people and let them get a snippet of what you are about, what you like.
It's the trailer to the episode to your podcast.
Pick those up and find ways to work through that. But that's what I would do. I would definitely make sure you're able to do shorts, or if you're super talented and you can edit that stuff on your own, even better. If not, you can also always go, I don't remember what the sites are, but you can find you like an editor in like Vietnam and Philippines and all these different things, and they'll edit your stuff. Now you're going to have to really teach them certain things.
Just once they watch
what you want, and you're going to have to edit and at least change the captioning and stuff.
But now, if you do go live, there's no editing because what you see is what you get. So I think just scratch the itch, just test drive it, get your camera, get a little sound, and you don't need guests. You can tell us all about what you do, how you do. You can take us on the journey when you boxed, from start to finish. Just get comfortable. That's why I do daily posts, because it made me stop being afraid.
Start with that. Start with like daily
posts. That is exactly. Start with a daily post of what's on your mind, like I do. Literally every day when I got out of the gym, put the camera on the steering wheel. I say what and it's normally stuff that I've read or been inspired by or I went through. And then once you do that, people want to know more, then you just kind of grow from there.
Yeah, JoJo, get on his ass.
Oh Lord.
If he gets this like board upgrade he's been talking about for a year, and this other camera thing happens, then you'll get to see the voice a little more often.
I'll be like Robin on what's the boy's name?
Batman and Robin.
No, Robin, the guy that has the show, the original Gangster Radio, with the long hair that did
Howard Stern.
Thank you. They always had a little camera on Robin in the corner.
I wasn't getting the Robin thing. Oh, I get it now.
No, yeah, sorry, superhero.
Yeah, when you said long-haired weird guy, I was like, all right, I know who you're talking about. Now.
Is he still alive?
Yeah, Howard Stern's still rocking. Dude, he's still, I know Rogan surpassed him, but when he went over to Sirius, man, like, not only that, he's like invested. So like, God knows what Sirius stock sells for now versus what he got it when they first took him over there, and you took the Howard Stern show there. Like, holy shit.
Money. Dreams. Do you want this to get any bigger than what it is right now?
Common sense?
Correct.
Yes. Absolutely.
Okay.
I think it's going to be a balance down the road that common sense might not be weekly. It might be, it'll be the larger part, at least for the first year when we start.
The other one?
Beyond the amplifiers. I can say that now. You guys seen some of the pages. You're already following it, and thank you. That will happen. There will be content. I just can't do it yet.
That's going to be, we got to have a staff for that one. I'm sorry. We got to figure that out because that's going to be a lot. I mean, it's going to be worth it, but that's going to be a lot.
It's an undertaking for sure to do it and do it right. I'm happy for all the lessons I've learned doing this. Yes, I want Common Sense to grow more. I will still do this, but until, close to 100 episodes in now, and like we said earlier, getting guests is hard, and constantly finding people that are willing to do it, that are good guests, that are good content, that bring value to you guys, and that I learn as well, because like that's a big part of this for me too, of Common Sense, is I'm learning too. I'm getting to go deeper and dive in deeper with, all these guests that you guys have seen. I'm building relationships with them. I'm building rapport with them. I'm, spreading my wings throughout all those networks, and that's huge, man. You go into it thinking there's certain things that are going to happen or that you can do or can't do, and all that changes. All that changes because it transitions as it grows and the ebbs and flows of it. So, I mean, it opens doors and starts conversations even within your other industries and businesses and things.
I give you the one thing, though, that you've done more than everybody I've ever worked with or done it with it. You stuck with it. I have been a part of so many podcasts that they just don't stick with it, or they find out it's not their calling, it's not their thing. But we've been doing this for 3 years.
I mean, if it ever gets to a point where I feel like this is hard or that there is no benefit or gain from doing this, then yeah, I mean, we'll go down that road. I mean, I think beyond the amplifiers, when that really gets going, it's going to be a thing. I'll go ahead and say this. I don't care. I can say this now.
It's your shit.
You will see. I'm going to do like an episode. We've got this thing. I don't know what we're going to call it yet, but basically if you've ever wanted to be behind the scenes while a song is being written, or see what really goes into that, or when you see two artists or two writers collaborate in real time and really get that whole experience and seeing how they do it, but also getting to have input and like chime in and be like, yo, I really like that. Like, but that should be part of the chorus, not the main verse. Or maybe you should try that from this angle. You'll be able to do that in like real time. Like, I'm just going to kind of moderate this, and I'm going to bring in, I've got some fire ass people that are amazing songwriters that have already agreed to do this as soon as I say go, and we can do it. So I'm trying to figure out the order I want to do those in, because I think that's really key to how this kicks off and how fast it kicks off. Because in music, everybody has their favorite things. One guy's going to really resonate with the country stuff. One guy's going to really resonate with the, R&B or the rap or
now these guys that are already established, or are these up and coming, or a combination of both?
No. So far, these are already. Man, I can't say much on this because I'm gonna really spill beans that I can't spill.
These are established artists.
All right, yeah. I mean, I'll give you an example. I've already got Hollywood to say yes when we do an R&B one, and we're gonna get Hollywood and somebody of Hollywood's choosing, and we're gonna do it. See what comes of that.
Well, just to say this, because that's my dude. I just said hi to him 2 minutes ago. He wrote songs for Usher
and Montel Jordan.
Okay.
I mean, like,
all right, well,
you see what I'm saying? Like, I can't say much else, but it is shit like that. And some that like is even shocking and surprising to me. Like, the guy that gave me this idea to do along with everything else I'm doing is definitely going to be the first one. I'm just not going to say who he's going to have with him yet, because there's 2 people lined up for it, and it's going to depend on availability. And it might even be a thing where he does one with one of them, and then when it works with the other one, we do that too. But Grady's going to do one too. And Grady's the one that told me and gave me the idea to do this alongside of everything else we're doing. So the other part of it's going to be some format of a podcast of me and the artist / band. And then if you're local here, you will be able to come watch this live, the podcast and the show. And the show is going to be them playing acoustic. So it's going to be really stripped down, really raw. And I mean, like, I'm talking, this is not just alternative being played acoustic. We're going to have people, like, I don't care if you're a rapper, an R&B artist, whatever. We're going to strip it down like you're on the tour bus or you're first tinkering with this song at home, in the studio, whatever. And we're going to do that. And they're going to have the option to record that show. They can put it out however they would like, giving proper credits and stuff, of course. But
sorry, I'm looking for Kendrick's number right now.
But we're going to do a lot of that kind of things. And though that this is going to be subscription based, that's part of the hang up. So if you just want to watch the live show and you're not able to attend or it's sold out, because where we're going to start doing this stuff at is going to be really small at first. But I think if the place I'm looking at works out right, we'll be able to have at least 100, 150 people in there.
Nice.
So that'll be going on, and you'll be able to go onto the platform, watch the show live, you can watch the podcast live. So I think my goal starting out early on is going to be to try to get one of those at least every other month, like the actual show, everything set up, and then I'll fill a week or two around that with like common sense and a combination of the song writing exposure type thing. I don't want to say what I'm thinking about calling it or anything, like, because that part's
you haven't crossed that bridge.
But yeah, that's kind of the whole thing going on with Beyond the Amplifiers.
Okay, so let's get off the cuff. Let's just do something totally different. We're not going to talk about multifamily and all that. We're going to talk about other stuff.
All right, let's do it.
So
I'm down.
So we had this conversation,
and I don't do this with everybody, y'all. So like,
it's us.
This is us. This is like
this is truly a podcast where this is what we do. Yeah. So, you said you had a conversation with a guy that's going to come on the show because we have this whole conspiracy thing going on.
He might.
And
if he's listening, this is not me saying we're going to do this.
Trust me. Me and my buddy JoJo had a elaborate conversation on this the other day about the whole thing about the Earth is flat. And I just laughed at, whatever. Yeah, I'm not paying her no mind. I'm not going to believe it. It's round 99. And then today, so I had to do this on Eric because I don't want to hear that. Today, we came across a fact that really messed me up that made me go, uh-oh.
All right. So hold on. I want to add to this before we go down this hole.
Because this fact is kind of messing me up.
This hole here. So, yeah, I have a friend that I also do business with that asked me while we were having lunch about coming on the podcast. And I was like, well, what are we going to talk about? Like, I don't know that, like, we could do a really great podcast right now on what it is you sell. And I've done one of those with one of your competitors, so I don't want to throw that out again right now. And he was like, well, how do you feel about conspiracy theories? And I am not a big conspiracy theory person. Now, I love a good debate. I love a good conversation. And if you know your shit and you're not just regurgitating the bullshit that you would see on social media, all right, we can go down that rabbit hole. Certain people. I mean, I'm not doing this with everybody. Because there's some people that I've tried that with before, and, dude, you might as well be talking about religion or politics.
It's just not going to flow, right?
No, I'm not doing that. But he asked me, have you ever had anybody on that believes in conspiracy theories or that has talked about one. And I was like, well, matter of fact, I have, now that you made me think about it. Bigfoot, Sasquatch.
My man, like, Mark. Yes.
I can sign you up, bro. You're going to wear a camera and I'm sending you out there and I want to hear all about it. And I'll gladly bring you on the show and let you tell us all about your Bigfoot hunting experience. I think it'd be dope.
I know our Bigfoot guy. He done showed me some proof, and I'm like, damn, I got to start believing this now.
All right, so let's jump over to where our conversation started today. So this cat, I was impressed because we started out with, is the world flat? And we went down this rabbit hole. And where he didn't completely lose me right out the gate was he referenced Neil deGrasse Tyson. Mm-hmm. I'm sorry if you can show me somebody that I actually truly believe is and you want to argue against this the other way or whatever, or you want to have your discussion about it, you better bring someone to the table like Neil deGrasse Tyson. I mean, like, that dude is the dude. Yes. I mean, that's like talking to Bill Gates about computers. Like, if that's the conversation we're having, like, you're the expert. So I was like, all right, now you get free reign, go. You can send me whatever you want to send me. I'll watch your shit. And man, it started flowing in. And I've watched some of these videos and I'm like, man, this is hard. And he can even tie it into religion, which if you've studied and know the Bible and history enough to do that, all right, cool, I'll listen to you. You got my respect. Like, I mean, because I asked him, like, I thought I was going to, like, throw something at him and be like, so how are the pyramids built? I didn't want to go dinosaurs yet, so I said, how are the pyramids built? And he goes to, like, well, you know about the giants in the Bible, right? I'm like, you talking about, like, David and Goliath? He's like, no, there's more than that. Like, and I'm gonna say this wrong, but I believe the word he used was Enochs or something like that. Mm-hmm. And I was like, okay, yeah, like, sorry, I don't know enough about the Bible.
At this point in our conversation, I was like, yeah, there's giants building whatever. Like, there's giants walking around, but you don't believe in dinosaurs. Okay, whatever. So as the conversation continued,
he goes to space. And whether or not we've ever been to the moon or any of the shit about leaving the Earth's atmosphere. And he goes back to the Bible again. And he's like, you know, and I cannot quote these verses and stuff. Sorry, y'all. Like, people are really good at this. I'm not. God talking about how water is above and below, above us and below us.
That's what they said. The King Kong thing with Middle Earth, they said that's actually real. When they enter it, it is that.
So, yeah, I mean, so, like, he's not just regurgitating shit, and he's not just, like, going cuckoo stuff and tinfoil on the head. But then
I'm still like, I'm calling bullshit at this point.
So the video I showed Biz, this is wild, y'all. Man. So, like, I've been, like, going to, like, the different, like, legit sites. I'm not clicking your links, too, if you guys start sending me a bunch of this shit. But I went to, like, so it's this guy commenting, and he's, like, live NASA footage, right? Like, from the space station. And they're saying it's a live feed and all, and this shit, and obviously they've sped it up a little bit because that would not be moving real fast on video.
So the Earth is rotating.
The Earth's rotating. You're seeing the Earth rotate below it and everything. And he's like,
wait, before you say it, I'm gonna see if y'all know. There's something missing. What do you think?
I think JoJo's gonna know this. What's missing in this video?
What's missing in the video? If it's showing like a downward view of the Earth. And
like, it's a camera. You can see the astronauts, like, working on it and stuff, like, over here and floating around this end. And
you see the Earth, and the Earth is spinning, and they're doing their thing. So the thing that is, well, first of all, there was research that how many of these things are low orbiting Earth? How many? What am I talking about?
Satellites.
Satellites.
And so I'll disclaim this too. If anybody watches this said video, and I'm not going to put this shit out there or put this up in the link.
Well, we got to talk about
find one like this. So the guy, I was like, this guy's already full of shit. He just said 8,000 satellites, and then in the very next thing that he's referencing the Google Earth satellite imagery, like the live, he's like, now it's jumped to 14,000. And I'm like, but then I like looked into that.
We Googled it, looked at it, and it showed.
So there's like 8,000 something known active satellites that are still working, so to speak. and then there's like 7,000 or whatever the number is
floating out there,
floating
just
out
junk.
there that like, unless it just crashes or lands or whatever, like I guess it's just caught in the Earth's orbit.
Yep.
Whatever. So yeah, it makes sense.
So when this thing is flying over, you see absolutely no satellites.
You don't even see stars.
Well, stars you won't. You because of the well, you should see it. I don't know why you don't, but it's just
At no point in any of these do you see stars. Like, that's the one where I want to go back and watch the live feed.
figure that one out. But I'm just saying there was not one, and you seen Earth clear as day. You don't see none, no satellites. I was like,
Not a single one.
I never thought of, and it's a crystal 8K photo of the Earth.
And then he switches to Google Earth in the live feed.
And it shows you
where
all
every
these
satellite
satellites
is. And there's like 14,000 of them. It shows you their name.
Are they too small to
Everything.
see? You can't, but they would even be little specks. When I said it was
Can't
crystal
all
clear.
be too small. I mean, as high def as that camera is.
Yeah. So
But
anyway,
no stars is still tripping me out.
no satellites trips me out even more.
For sure.
Because, you can't see the stars if you're in a well-lit city, but when you go out to the country, you can see it.
You're in fucking outer space in these videos, bro.
I don't.
So how can you not see a star?
I'm not gonna lie. Now I got to go down the rabbit hole. We're gonna figure this out because JoJo is not gonna let me hear the end of this at all. Because I did, but the whole not seeing satellites, I was like, wait a minute. Okay.
He was totally dismissing me and like, why the fuck are we talking about this? And giving me the like, whatever, man. I'm gonna keep working on my computer over here. I'm half listening to you now, and I'm like, no. Watch this shit.
When you gave me that phone and showed me that, I was like, damn. I don't know what to think now. I am completely confused because that's amazing.
I mean, the other one with the floppy spaceship door thing, like, I'm like, that's bullshit. Like, that has to be some like AI created thing or whatever. Like, I don't know what the source is on that video and stuff, but like, that don't even make sense.
So when are we having this guy
door
on?
around there? I don't know. I gotta talk to him. I'll see him soon.
Man, hit him up soon because I need it because this is going to be on my brain. I didn't sleep last night. I got to get some sleep, and there's just no way I'd miss that. But anyway, so
if several of y'all say you want me to do it, I'll do it. Like if y'all like comment
I'm
or
gonna
you
say,
hit me up and say do it, I'll do it. If that's something y'all want to like hear, go down that rabbit hole.
Look at the comments. JoJo is going nuts.
It's all an illusion.
Probably just okay. So the other thing we spoke about, now this is going against one of my rules of podcasting, so don't pay attention to it, but talking about something that's relevant now, and it won't be relevant, but this one may be relevant for a little while. We're talking about Kendrick and the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I was up late last night, deaf scrolling, trying to fall asleep after editing till 3 o'clock in the morning. Every single solitary piece of feed on whatever platform I was on, that's all it was showing, people reacting to the video and this, that, and then the people that didn't get it, the people that did. It was just, I mean, it was a mastermind.
Got off social media. Like, I really wanted to watch that halftime show, and I did. And I immediately, like an idiot, pulled back out my phone and started looking at some of the social media stuff, and even later that night. And I was like, nope, not doing this. It was almost like the presidential debate again. Like,
it was.
You were either left or you were right.
Yep.
And there was nothing in between.
I love looking at the videos that were showing the households that were split.
But what also tripped me out, man, is like since Zuck quit censoring shit, I was like, and I've been noticing this over the last couple of weeks too, because people that I've been friends with for a long time, but they didn't pop up in my feed very often. Now I'm seeing a lot more. And these are things that are like completely opposite of my viewpoint or what I believe.
But this Kendrick thing, they made sure if you tweeted, you hashtagged, you did anything with it,
yeah,
it made it to the algorithm like,
oh, for sure,
time.
like instantly. But it was tripping me out that like I'm seeing all these things and, I'm like, okay, as long as you're being respectful and you're coming with some facts or what you at least believe to be facts and you're not just trying to pick a fight or start a fight with people, all right, cool. I'll still follow you or whatnot. But like my complete feed has been evolving and changing over the last several weeks since he did this. So watching the people that I do see in my feed and then watching the other side popping up, I was like blown away, man. Like I thought and it's times like these that I know we're making so many rapid changes right now in the world, in America, and there's people that are happy and there's people that are unhappy, and that's cool, you know. And there was the same thing 4 years ago. There are people that were happy and there are people that are unhappy. So watching these people fight and make the statements and trying to stand
over the Super Bowl
over a halftime performance was like mind blowing to me, man. Like, okay, I get it. Like, not every time is it going to be your cup of tea. I'm sure most of the people that love the Kendrick Lamar performance, what'd you think when Creed played at the halftime show?
They wouldn't make sandwiches.
Had half-naked dudes flying around on trapeze with like sheets around them and stuff. Like, I'll bet that wasn't their cup of tea. But you know what? Like, step back and like respect it for the performance it was. And I get it. Like, and there was times that like, I don't know, a lot of it could be me not having the best hearing in the world, but like, and I listened to Kendrick Lamar. It was hard to understand him at times. And I think because he did different spins and takes on certain things that it confused even people that listened to him a little bit. Like,
plus,
I mean,
he's
you wanted to go back and watch it again.
And he's huffing it because, like, the people like Beyonce and all them that do all that acrobatic dancing and they're still able to sing.
Yeah.
That brother don't do all. I mean, actually, I can't say. I've seen him in concert and he does do. There is a lot of choreography.
But like, I went back and watched it again and turned the closed captions on so that I could like really like get through it again.
Really?
The second time, just because there was like parts of it that like, man, it wasn't real clear.
Well, part of the problem was too, it's not a problem, but after you've seen how intricate and the symbolism that was going on, you stop paying attention to the song. I know that song. I'm looking for clues and Easter eggs, and I'm so busy like what? Because I didn't even know that was Serena Williams until after. And then it clicked. I said, wait a minute. And I rewinded back. I said, that was Drake's ex-girlfriend, Serena. Because SZA, he dated SZA before.
I saw
SZA,
right when it was happening. I was like, holy shit, Serena Williams just crip walked on at the the halftime of the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
And that's what people don't understand, that he was so masterful in his still destroying Drake, but then he was also saying stuff. You know, first of all, Samuel Jackson as Uncle Sam. I was like mind blown. I was like, uh-oh.
He didn't, and this is what's so funny because some of the things, and this is where I want to do this with you. Like, to me, this is interesting. If you couldn't get past the fact that there's a rapper on here that you would call or say is mumbo jumbo and you don't understand any of it, and maybe rap's not your thing, but you couldn't even appreciate the visual performance or the symbolism, when, holy shit, man, like a whole big portion of what he did was he was killing the media too. Like, that was part of his message. Turn your TVs off. And like, don't let them divide you. Like,
when he came down the middle of the flag,
taking this, like, and I mean, like, do you think that Samuel Jackson would portray something to the point that he thought it was disrespectful, or I don't even know the right word,
dishonoring his country?
I mean, like, he was like taking on the role like he had as the headmaster in Django. And he even did a whole little thing on that. And like, you see all these different things, man. And it's like,
at the end of the day, for me, it's that we're so indoctrinated to a certain point of view. This is the point of view that it's supposed to be. So when somebody else sees it, when you see somebody else from their points of view, some people just can't take it. It's like saying,
but how did this go so far down the hole? Like, the big things I'm seeing is like, man, you'd think racism and like apartheid and everything else was like
it had socialism
full
and everything
blown, and that like this was just a race thing.
No, man.
And
do you know
us
Squid
and them
Games
thing? Like, I think his words at times confused people. Like, they thought he meant only black people.
No, have you seen Squid Games?
No. Yes, but I'm just saying, like, that's the post I'm seeing. I'm not saying, I'm saying this. No,
it's not your, but people don't understand. Like, the Squid Games reference with the X's and O's and all that, not only it had duality. So the PlayStation thing was dissing Drake and Sony and that sort of stuff. But Squid Games is a hierarchy thing. Squid Games is the rich watch the poor fight over scraps to the point of death. And that's what things are developing into. I mean, like, people were not, and then you can't say that to anybody in that, because their opinions are their opinions and they're set in it. So where we all say that, wow, look at all the symbolism, and we're going to stand on business to that, somebody else could say, well, he was this. You won't be able to change it. But that's the thing about it. It's like being a Marvel movie fan. We look for all these Easter eggs based on the history of knowing these comic books when they were in paper versus somebody that looks at it from a point of view of what they don't know. And that's what just makes it super tough to explain to somebody that this had a lot of political and social and all that economic, in it. And he was whooping Drake's head at the same time.
I mean, I was just kind of like mesmerized by it. But yeah, Frank, I agree with you too. I think that game sucked enough that everybody was watching it so hardcore.
You know what though, Frank? You're right. I ain't really heard shit about and Chuck, my dude. The Eagles winning. It's not a big, it's not really been talked. It's all about Kendrick.
Texas.
Well, yeah, especially here in Texas, you're not gonna hear nothing about it. But I've heard more about Kendrick's performance than I've had about the game, and the game was whack. The game was horrible. Yeah, I agree 10,000% on that one, man. The game was horrible.
Yeah, but I mean, it's just, I don't know, man. I was interested to hear your take because I thought it was like a pretty genius performance of what he put out there. And, man,
it was dope.
I didn't see why so many people had such a problem with it. I mean, I get it's not your cup of tea or whatever, but like, you act like it was a bad performance or that he did something super disrespectful or that he offended you. Like, these women, I mean, SZA and Serena could have been dressed like every other halftime shows put out there, and it wasn't. Everybody was like, everything was probably, I mean, like, your kids could watch that and not be like.
Justin Timberlake pulled Janet Jackson's boob out.
Right. Like, not.
I'm just saying. And
I don't feel like the divisiveness and the I'm for this or against this was near as bad with that.
But we're in a different.
I mean, it was dramatic,
then, but we're in a different age now than that.
Right.
Than then.
So
we're in a way
more desensitized,
super desensitized, man, and just it is what it is. So, but hence the way of the world. That's the way of the world, man. Just nothing else we can do about it, man. But
what's JoJo asking here? Aren't we glorifying?
So JoJo wants to know: are we glorifying the pettiness to a certain degree? And I do understand the message through it. This then. So, do you think anybody would have had any interest or caught as much as they did if the Drake situation didn't exist? So, if he didn't do that, because everybody, the bad part about it, you can't even kind of say that because it was all about, will Kendrick perform this song? Nobody really caught everything else. They were wondering. All the reaction videos are when he does the Drake disc.
All right, here's my thing with this. Cat Williams. Cat went out and put out a whole bunch of stuff with people. Cat Williams went out and put a whole bunch of dirt out there. And I didn't see a whole bunch of lawsuits flying at Cat. Just saying. And most so far of what Cat said has been proven to be true.
So he didn't lie.
And he said, I'm not a liar. I mean, the man put it all out there. And I think if my perception of the beef with Kendrick and Drake, I mean, I think, what's your thoughts on A minor? I mean, I know Drake's suing the shit out of him and Sony and everybody else right now, but I mean, if that ends up being proven true, does that change how you feel about that beef? Because I don't know. I mean, when it comes to that kind of stuff, I think those people should, if you are found guilty of that, then yeah, you get all that. So I don't know.
I'm looking up something for it right now, but okay, we'll move on from that. We covered it. It'll be dead. It'll be dead in the water because something else crazy is going to happen within the next week anyway to get everybody's mind off of that.
Yeah.
So that's just the way the world works, and that's what it does.
For sure. Yeah, babe, I don't think that was just a wardrobe malfunction.
Yeah, I said that to Sarah secretly. Like, no, Justin. I mean, she had the nipple pierced and everything. She was ready for what was going to happen. That was just that. But like you said, the recourse in that, it was a big deal, but it was nothing like this. But we didn't have social media like this then either.
No.
We didn't have, if we had social media and Janet Jackson's boob popped out, bruh, you don't think that would be on, well, it was on Foreign People. That would be, it's still a meme, I think it is. I think they made it a meme after the fact.
Some of these people with their comments and their posts where they're trying to like get real philosophical on this whole thing though, they need to type what they think they need to say, and they need to run that shit through ChatGPT and let it do its thing, because some people are sounding really, really ignorant and really just, man, I don't know.
The world is nothing but social media has made everybody get on their soapbox. Everybody.
A lot of keyboard warriors.
A lot of keyboard warriors. And I mean, but also it's good because people now are able to express themselves and be themselves. And sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. I'm over it now. I am reformed, but I used to love to watch Karen videos. But I'm talking about Karen videos when they actually gets their just coming up and when they do it, and I'm like, man, I can't wait to run into a Karen. I'm gonna have my Karen moment. Now I've witnessed some, especially I don't know what it is about people and getting on airplanes and acting stupid in the 21st century.
Apparently, it makes you lose your mind, man.
The two Karen situations I witnessed were on planes.
How does that make sense after 9/11, man? Like, aren't you scared to act a fool on a plane?
Because entitlement is really rampant. You thought COVID was bad. Entitlement is off the chain. Everybody thinks that they're just indestructible. I don't know. Or their opinions to break the law and defy the law. It's crazy. So, anyway, I digress. We said we was going down a rabbit hole today because it's us. Y'all stuck with us. My bad.
Yeah. I mean, y'all got questions. Y'all want us to talk about something too? You can throw it out there.
Pettiness.
Most of you never do, but we can go for it.
Some do. Some actually chime right in. Frank, Frank.
And Sarah, yes, I absolutely got that. I was just trying to draw Biz to it because I didn't think he'd seen it yet.
I'll talk about. I said something to her.
Old man trying to look at his computer back there.
Oh, the peeps is good. I just think I got low iron or something. But otherwise, everything else is good. So let me ask you. Nope, this question is so irrelevant and stupid because I was about to say, man, so what are we going to see in the future for common sense? But we just talked about it.
Yeah.
Common sense is going to kind of melt and morph. Well, it's going to have a sister or brother, whatever you want to say.
Yeah, it's going to have a counterpart for sure. And, I mean, yeah.
It'll be good.
It's going to be solid. I mean, common sense ain't going away. I mean, like, I don't want to say that, like, at all. Like, there are still people, and when I meet people, if I feel like that story or their message or their knowledge or their failures and their successes could help anybody or that there's something to learn there, then yeah, we're going to sit down. But I do think the other show it'll eat into the time. Like, I'm not going to be able to do my day job, my personal life, my family life, and a common sense episode during the week and everything that goes into making that happen.
Your girl
and then
kick your ass.
Then do the music one. Like, there's just no way. Like,
well, I will challenge you.
They're gonna have to alternate. They're gonna. I'll
challenge you then. So I say let's do one episode somewhere somehow of common sense before we get into behind the amplifiers with the live audience.
Yeah,
let's figure that out. Where we're gonna do it, how we're gonna get it, and let's have a crew of people and have a good time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Challenge is made. It's public. It's right there.
We'll see. We'll see how we can make that happen.
Well, man, I think we kind of caught up. I think we caught out of, like, AKA, I'm running out of shit to say.
That's bullshit. So, what's your? I want to hear more about Press Forward and Rewind. And you guys, he ain't putting it out there a whole lot. Like, he is a little bit on his page. But go like, subscribe, follow that shit. Like, go out there and find his stuff.
If you're old as sin and trying to start over again, that's what I talk about. That's because I'm old and we talk about stuff. But I mean, it's the challenge. You know what? Yesterday, because I pre-record mine and go live. Yesterday, I record 3 episodes. You know, back to back to back to back to back to get them caught up, so I can kind of stay ahead a little bit. Thought I was going to do it weekly. Nah, it's bi-weekly with a prayer because of what you said. And I haven't blocked my time to actually dedicate a day to making sure, because I'm a one-man band. So I'm taking care of client work and trying to do my own thing at the same time. And, you know, and I was trying this go to bed at 10 o'clock thing, but when you're the only one doing it, hence why I'm trying to get an editor, you know.
So what's been the hardest thing for you so far with the new podcast?
At first, guests were easy. For the first 8 episodes, easy. And I love you book yours so far in advance that we look at the calendar. I'm trying to get to that. So for me, literally, it's just guest. Guest, well, no, and then picking a topic for that guest. So I'll write down a list of topics, and then I need to find the person that can speak on it. That's been a little bit challenging. But, you know, because I really want to keep it in the pocket of that every episode will let somebody go back. If you have like Tony Hills, you know, hey, if I'm over 50 for retirement, what do I do? That's what we talked about.
Yeah.
You know, I really want to get back out into the world, or I want to try something else, but I'm not great at networking and communication. I got an episode for that. You know, when my cousin came on, she's a life coach. And when you talk about the 5 people you surround yourself with that influence you, you know, she's always said she's had a personal board of directors. What they own with it, that's her episode. So finding people to help build this, because the end goal for me is I'm going to actually create a guide for starting over after 50. And I'm going to just take information from each one of those episodes. I've already got the chapters written out. I am just trying to find people to make sure we match it. But as the rule of the algorithm world says, content is content. So if they're not exactly striking the point, I'm going to have to ease back on some of my parameters and start getting people on. You know, I'm probably going to start bringing on people that are in the journey now.
Well, I think what's easier for you, you know a shit ton of people as well. You're super connected. You network shit out of yourself. And I think your podcast is more like Beyond the Amplifiers, whereas that's very defined. Common sense is not completely defined.
We talk about
Bigfoot
and we have,
as you guys know, we have like people from all over.
But the main theme is defined. That is, you know, how did you use common sense to get to where you are in your journey?
Yeah. But what's funny is we don't really like dive into quote unquote the end.
True.
I mean, like to really like just narrow it down to that.
But it's a great summary.
This is where I wish I had focused on personal brand more than common sense, looking at it like a business. If that makes any sense.
You're a human being. You can change it at any time you want to.
Yeah. But, you know, you got a certain point there that you want to stay in a lane to a certain degree. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, that's just something else that comes along during the time. But I think that is going to be your biggest challenge down the road. But I think it's also the thing that's going to help you the most is press forward and rewind, life after 50. That's a very specific thing. So you can come up with the type of questions, and with the person you know, what is their space, what is their expertise, and if they are after 50, or what would they go back and do, or what would they do, and just keep staying on that, man. And I think that I
think you just gave me something, because the question or the thing that all of us said, I just talked to my brother today, and he said the same thing that I said in like a conversation right before that. If I knew then what I know now.
Absolutely, JoJo.
If I knew then what I know now, it would be just, you know, and I think everybody would like that redo, that reset.
Well, I mean, I think that's almost like, I think that should be like your 2 cents. That's your version of your 2 cents. Okay, because I'm assuming the majority of the people are over 50 that you're having on.
Or close to 45 and up or whatever.
Well,
They're season 2.0.
Thank you for the clarification.
Yeah. And it just sounded so good at 50, but I think I do need to broaden that so it doesn't close anybody out. Well, I ain't
but
50
it's like
yet.
going and asking, like, if you, I mean, because we say this all the time, if you could go back in time and, you know, tell your former self something, or what piece of advice would you give 20-year-old you? Or what did you think was really a big deal at 20 that now you look back and you just want to go tell them like, hey man, chill, it's all going to work out. Like,
if y'all want something like, is that, if you go back and just YouTube Dave Chappelle, did you see that episode when he did that? 20-year-old Dave, 30-year-old Dave, now 40-year-old father Dave, like that's a perfect analogy of that.
Yeah.
You know,
and people are interested in that, man. Like what would you do? Just like a question I've thought about that I want to throw in there. Not with every guest, but some guests I always think is a fascinating question that gets really cool answers is, and I'm going to ask you this, and I think we did this at one point in like season 1, but if you could go back in time to any point in time and it didn't matter, like there were no limitations, like as far as your status, like if you chose a time period where you could also specify like, hey, of this status, or I wanted to be in this part of, like obviously if you picked medieval times, like you wouldn't want to be a peasant.
Oh, not a time in my life.
Right. Yeah. No, not a time in your life. No, any time in history, what point in time would you go back to? And you can even give your top 2 choices if you want. I'll make it easier because I had a hard time deciding between a couple.
For me being a black dude, I think I hit the mark right about right when I was born. I don't want to go no further back than when I came into this world because it wasn't all that, for any other period in time. And now if it's another country, okay, yeah, cool. I like to go back to the time where I wouldn't mind peeping out cats and being a part of Shaka Zulu's tribe. Seeing what the excellence was. If I had to go back. But for me, I just want to go back to 2006. If I can go back to 2006 in my life, oh my God, everything. And if I knew what I know now then, oh man, life would be amazing.
Do you know who Mike Drop is? Mike Drop podcast? Mm-mm. Okay, so he's a former Navy SEAL. He trains the dogs for the teams, head of training for the dogs for the teams, or was. And he's got a badass podcast. It's kind of a lot like Sean Ryan. Mm-hmm. And he was talking about this on one of his shows I watched recently. And you know what he said? He wanted to go back to the time of Jesus and grapple with Jesus just to see if he could take the man.
I wouldn't want to have to deal with his father.
And he didn't mean like,
he didn't mean like
you
had to deal with his dad.
But he was like, I just want to see if I could take him grappling.
Oh my God!
It's like I want to roll with him on the mat and do jiu-jitsu.
And watching the sweet by and by,
just to see if he can beat him.
Jesus gonna be like, "Hey, is that dude right there with the pot? Yeah, you come on over here. No, don't worry about them gates. Just come over here. You want to grapple? Come on, let me show you something.
Tell me you're a Navy SEAL without telling me you're a Navy SEAL.
Man, that's die hard.
Yeah, he wants to grapple Jesus.
I don't think I want to go back that far.
And he elaborates into too, he was a carpenter or what would be a stonemason in that part of the world, basically because they built out of stone and a concrete mixture. But so you had to figure Jesus had to be pretty jacked, right? Had to be pretty strong. And all that walking he did to walk places and stuff like that. Did he really? I guess if you think about it. He seriously thought it out. I was like, that's pretty dope.
Wow. Well, again, at first, if I went back then, I'd be like, Jesus, is the earth really flat or is it round? That's what I would do. If I went back, I just want to be there for them 30 seconds, let him tell me what's what, and then I'll be out.
Yeah. There's a lot of interesting things in history you could pick. I would pick probably the Roman Empire.
If I was Denzel Washington status, yeah, I'd do it. But otherwise, nope.
Like I said, status didn't matter. You could be around, if you wanted to see what it was like to, maybe you had, you were a knight, and you got
to. But medieval times is so. You couldn't know any relevance of self now because you go back and see how nasty those people were. You'd be like, oh, I can't.
Right. And I mean, obviously, the bathrooms aren't
no, and you pop back into that time smelling like Chanel or Louis Vuitton imagination. They're gonna be like, "What the?" Oh, then you probably couldn't stand yourself.
Yeah, but I'm saying that's your norm. You know no differently. If you're going back in that time period and if you could live in that, I would want to be in the room with Marcus Aurelius.
But that would defeat the purpose awareness of future self if you go back then in order for the experience to be the experience. Because back to this time and you don't remember nothing.
You're popping back. I just said, if you
I ain't trying to stay. I ain't trying to hang. I thought we was going to do like Stewie.
You went Back to the Future. You went the time machine.
I was like Stewie and Brian. They put the little disc down and then we check it out and then we get out. And I ain't trying to start over. Oh no, because nope. Ain't no.
Oh, no.
Anything past 71, I'm chill. I don't want nothing. I don't want nothing to do with it. I'm good. 71 and on, oh, it's great, and great. Just saying.
Yeah, I mean, I think we grew up in cool time periods. I mean, I can get it from different viewpoints too, where your answer went the way it did.
Oh yeah, This.
I mean, I think it'd be cool to see a lot of the different things, man. And like I said, if you could come back in any capacity, like, so you could come back as any race or culture or,
I guess I never really thought about
religion or if none of that mattered, like you could just like clear things, like to see like the Roaring 20s or something like that. Like that would be
What's
cool.
so crazy about what you just said, that's literally what was in my head. Like I was a millisecond in saying that.
Yeah.
Just
because I mean, like, how cool did that have to be, like, in that time period to, like, see that happen? Like, that had to be, like...
I only say it because I've seen the movie The Great Gatsby.
But that's like, it has to be, like, an equivalent of us getting the internet, right? Like, 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 that had to be cool.
I wouldn't mind witnessing famous people and famous things. Like, I would love to have met Albert Einstein for real. He's there. The biggest thing I have an issue with is, did we really create the things we created? Well, did Henry Ford actually make the first car? Did the Wright brothers literally fly before anybody else? Because if you remember in World War II...
Are you taking this like pyramids or...
No. Just this is a simple question.
Okay.
It's like, so how is it that when we got into war, we weren't the only one with planes? Did we sell our ideas to other countries? Did other countries develop them at the same time we did? Or now I do know for a fact that other countries took our technology and made it way better, because the Germans had jets before we did.
Yeah.
So I'm just curious, did we really fly first? Or we're just giving that, nomenclature to us because that's when we first discovered flight, because there was no internet. We weren't looking at people's plans online or nothing like that. But I've always wondered that. All the especially with war and Ricard, things like that, were we the first ones to come up with it?
So, all right, we're going to jump back to the earlier rabbit hole just because now I want to know your answer to this. So, like, I was a big fan. I love history. And like the Greeks and the Egyptians, like, really, really fascinated me as a kid. So what do you think on, like, how the pyramids and stuff like that were built? How we don't have any, like, evidence of, like...
I think it was... See, and that's my problem, because I really think it was just genius-minded individuals that understood, and these were the originators of geometry and all these other things. But you told me something that messed me up, because I can't say this.
Hold on. Yeah, you can. Hold on.
I think I'm about to say what you're about to say.
I don't think so.
It was no evidence of anything being pulled or you can't pull that big stone up a mountain without scratching the surfaces of the other pieces of stone. There was no, and you're in construction. There was no damage to any of the structures as they were built up, to show that there's no way you can just take it and place it on top. You would have to drag it up the side. And
right.
They
and
said that it's shown.
When you also see that now that we have the technology to do it and, like, take little samples and stuff, the things mixed to make the blocks, we'll just call it the concrete, right? Mm-hmm. If the cement you mix to make the concrete only comes from this area that is like 100 miles away, and you're making this big ass block, how the hell did you transport it from there to, you know what I'm saying?
Oh,
it's
Lord.
Crazy.
JoJo said even the Egyptians believed the world was flat. Okay, but that's fine. You know what? For the next couple of weeks, the world is flat. Fine. The pyramids, and everybody's going back to aliens. Everybody's going back to aliens and another something. People have said aliens have always lived among us. They've already been here. They've been watching us. I don't know. Is there aliens? And that's okay. I have only 15% left on the battery in the laptop, because if we go here, it's going to be out of there. But that's when the whole thing with religion, aliens, and all that stuff kind of, is it the same thing? Is it not? Is it?
Yeah.
I mean, good grief. And here's the thing, just to cap it all off. Are we the only ones that care about this stuff to the degree that we care about it, or do other countries have like nerds with tinfoil hats on and it's a big thing? It's
I know. I would love to talk to some people from different countries on this too, and like see
if it's that big of a deal in their country.
Because I mean, it's got to be in certain places, though. I mean, you think about it, like Stonehenge. I mean, like right. They've got to have right. some.
They try to have an explanation for
the
that.
Loch Ness Monster over there.
I just watched some stuff on that. They actually kind of debunked that because it's a big ass. Right. There's a big fish that lives, and not just one, it's several of them that live over there. But we take things and kind of run with it. We sound like the old podcast now that they used to have here.
I know, right?
It was Bigfoot, Ghost, and Aliens.
Ghost and Aliens.
Ghost, we're out on that. I won't even waste your time on that one. But
yeah, we can go back to other stuff.
I digress on that one for real.
I'm surprised we haven't got. Josh was talking all this noise about trying to disrupt our show and all this, and he can come up and ask me more questions.
Josh has been on the show before.
I know.
Was it before his fight? It was before his fight.
Yeah, it was before his fight.
Was he getting ready for it?
I don't think he decided to do it yet then. He was definitely doing it. I mean, he had that like streak of like, I don't know how many hundreds and hundreds of days of not.
Josh is a guy that works here at Industrial Cigar. He's one of the guys here, but he was just doing boxing as for exercise.
Yeah.
And then they said he got good enough that, hey, why don't you go out to Vegas and do this amateur thing? And Josh is, nice guy, whatever. But then he fights a gargantuan fireman. Who's now like boxing on the regular. So that was this dude's destiny. And of course, that's what they put in the ring with Josh, who's just I like to just keep in shape.
Luck of the draw.
What Mike Tyson said, everybody's a fighter till you get hit in the face. And it's not fun. And to think about it, these dudes are doing that for 12 rounds. 2 or 3 rounds, you don't realize how much you're moving, exerting energy, and they're doing it for 12. Like, that's crazy. MMA the same way. You're trying to kill the man in the cage with you for 3 or 4
minutes.
Man. And you are getting hit rather hard in places you don't want to get hit in with pretty much, and them gloves, that's like getting hit with your fist.
I mean, do you ever go on and see the like after pictures? Like when these guys are healing up after a fight?
They look like they've been in a major car accident. And you're getting paid to do it. One of my very close friends, Houston Alexander. Houston was in the UFC he was the last guy to fight Kimbo Slice before he passed away. Damn. And now he does and he's my age. I think Houston actually has me by a year. And he does now he's a bare knuckle champion.
You're just around here?
No, he's back in Nebraska. He's in Nebraska.
Okay.
He's back there with Terrence Crawford and everybody. Where they
okay.
Midwest. We can fight though. we may not be the ahead of the time, but we can
get
fight.
Him on the show.
Houston?
Yeah.
I got to get him down. Now you talking about episode, and Houston can talk too. You think we blab? No, Houston can talk. But this dude got into the MMA, made a name for himself, and he's one of the original breakdancers. So and he has connections with New York. I mean, talented graffiti artist. Oh man, artist, he is dope. He's cool, and he really spends a lot of time. When I ran radio, he was part of one of the employees, and he created this thing called the Culture Shock Tour. And they went to all the public schools, and they taught them the elements of hip hop, which is b-boying, breakdancing, the graffiti, of course, the rap and music. And it's still going right now. He's actually getting grants to go even to other cities outside of Nebraska. So this dude,
that's pretty cool.
This dude that will beat the brakes off of you is one of the sweetest people you've ever met. And it seems to always be like that. The most dangerous people are the nicest.
Absolutely.
He's cool.
They've surpassed ego.
Because there's nothing that can be said or done to them that would even matter.
They're not intimidated. They can be themselves.
I had to tell this story real fast. I was DJing in one of Houston, we was there, and a dude was disrespecting his girl. Disrespecting her, like smacking her on, whatever. And Houston said, hey, man, hold on, don't do that. So it was this dude and his brother or cousin, whatever. So when the dude pushed off and said, man, what's up? You automatically know that's runners to your mark, because he pushed him again. I said, get set. And when he pushed him that third time, I was like, pow. Knocked the dude clean out, just one punch. But then his brother had a gun, took the gun out, started shooting at him. So he starts shooting at him, and everybody's rucking and dodging. I know the drill. I get up under the table, whatever, and they get out of there. So I walk outside like, where's Houston? Nobody could find him. And literally, like in the movie, I see a trail of blood going out the door. And I'm like, yo. And he took him around in the leg. So we got everything cleaned up, got to the hospital and everything. That dude was on air at the radio station the very next morning. What's happening? Like in no limp, no. He fought in a fight 2 weeks later. I'm just like, man.
So it must have like missed everything. He must have just got grazed or something.
No,
right?
it went in, and it hit the top chunk of his leg. So like went in the top and went out this side here.
And missed his femoral and
Yep.
everything.
Yep.
Damn, that's lucky.
It was a 9 on top of that. It was 9. They got the guy on another, but I'm just saying, like, this dude, it just I've been to so many different places when I've seen him knock people out because they were disrespecting. And there's always a female. He loves a lady. He has 11 kids.
God.
So yeah, he gets down. Anyway,
11.
11.
Wow.
Yeah, he procreates. He procreates with the best of them. I'm just saying, but sweetest guy you ever meet, man. And a picture. I remember last time I was home, me and him ran into each other at a gas station. We snapped a pic together. So, but yeah.
So what's coming up with you? Work out there for people, or anything you're promoting
if
right
you live
now?
in the just DFW, man, you already know how we get down with this. But DJing, my other passion, my other love, my other life.
Yeah.
Cigar Lounge DJ, which is First Fridays here at Industrial. And then this weekend, and I'm also at Silverleaf in Fort Worth. So I'm both Dallas and Fort Worth. So Saturday Silverleaf, and then Friday, Fresh Fridays here. Occasionally I go to Cigar International, a couple other places, but that's really it, man. And unless you want to, if you check out my website now, it's done finally. The business group, BIZZNESS. If you're looking to like rebrand yourself, personal brand, that's what I do now. With retaking your headshots, creating a bunch of shots and candidates for your social media. You can use it when you speak, things like that. And I also let you produce a cinematic reel telling the world who you are, because LinkedIn is the professional Facebook. So these assets do great on there.
LinkedIn is sick now.
It's
like everybody's like flocking over to LinkedIn. Like LinkedIn.
Yeah,
has been
LinkedIn.
growing
And
the
this
show
is why this
tremendously.
is important. I get a lot of clients that are realtors, anything. It's really big, especially if you're starting your own brand and doing your own thing. Huge for that.
Or even
So-
like the commercial things, like you had me watching that like commercial.
Oh yeah. I
video.
have a company that have an energy drink. So I mean, just products and things like that. We kind of do it all, but I really want to focus on your personal brand and you. So, and we can also even, if you want to do what we do, I still produce podcasts, not just this one, not just mine, but for other folks that want to look at and do things, definitely hit me up and we can go from there.
Cool, man. So we've already told you guys next week. You're the first to know. Kenny Bowers, Chef Kenny Bowers of
I wonder if he's
Kenny's.
going to bring some grub with him.
I mean, I'll talk to him. I'll see him
Yeah,
at
yeah.
the
See if
gym.
we can just bring some grub with him after y'all work
I'll
out.
tell him you want some grub.
Yeah,
Biz
please,
has
Kenny.
never had your Cuban.
No, I
Or
have not.
maybe you can get him to. Well, it's Thursdays. Maybe you can get him to bring the Detroit pizza.
He can, whatever he want, we good.
All right, I'll talk to him because he used to torture me with that shit when I was losing weight and trying to be in the gym and was on that super strict diet. And he's all telling me about all this pizza and shit. Anyways, we appreciate you guys tuning in. I hope you guys had a good time with us tonight. Hope you guys will join us again next week, and peace.
Peace out, y'all.